Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So I'm going to do a quick reading, and it really does have to be quick. It really, really does. I'm going to do a quick reading. I have to get to the Endiran fire ceremony that I'm going to be doing in a few minutes. So I asked what this quick reading was going to be about, and what I was told is, how will you handle it all? How will you? Right? All right. Hi, guys. All right. Ooh, I love this answer to the question. With grace and ease. Of course, Ben. I could expect nothing short of that from you. Oh. All right. We're about ready. We are about ready. Alrighty. Alrighty. Here goes. Ooh, prosperity in reverse. So maybe there's this fear. Maybe you have this fear that you won't be able to handle this or that. Maybe you have a fear that you're not enough, that, whatever the fear is, let's explore that, okay? This is not something you have to cleanse yourself from. This is not something that should be allowed to serve as evidence of you somehow being tainted. I don't know, too many of us have this feeling of being tainted because of different life experiences that we've had. I don't know about that. No matter how negative your life experiences have been, this perception of being tainted really comes from someone else, not from you. Someone else's expectations of you, someone else's this, someone else's that, not your own. So be mindful, be very, very mindful of what you allow in and adopt as your own mindset. A lot of your mindset really is not even yours. Were you aware? Intensification. Things are going to get so much more intense. Things are going to get so much more intense. What are you going to do with that? Are you going to allow your life to intimidate you? I mean, I guess it would be fine and understandable to allow that for a few minutes, a few hours, maybe even a few days at most. But to consistently live in a state of intimidation of your own self, intimidated by your own potentiality, I don't know that that's acceptable. It's understandable, but is it acceptable? Yesterday, we talked about the difference between understandable and acceptable. Something can be absolutely understandable and still be unacceptable, right? So this is about you really understanding, like having a really intimate understanding of what is understandable and what is acceptable in your life. Protection. Oh, this is intense. So, there's this spiritual practice of casting a circle. And it's like a circle of protection, the whole premise of the pentacle, the pentagram. Is that a pentagram? Yes. Is that you're being protected from all directions. But I think for many of us, we've gone ahead and we've allowed this protection to be the very cage that we have to exist within. That's not the best idea if you were destined to be free, right? And many of us are experiencing a type of mental imprisonment, emotional imprisonment, and we have no idea that we're doing this to ourselves. How will you handle all of it? I mean, have you stopped to really assess what it is you're needing to handle? Have you stopped to think about that? Have you allowed yourself to really, really just be very cognitive of where you are within your journey? Fertility. So this is a period where you're going to be accreting, accreting. People always think I'm saying secretion. No, not like bodily secretions. No, accretion. Let me, because I don't want people to think that I'm like this is accretion. Okay. Not trying to be condescending. I get weirded out that people think I'm saying secretions. Because then my mind goes other places. It's for my own comfort. It's for my own comfort. But fertility. So this is a period where you're going to be accreting quite a bit of frequency, a huge charge. And as you accrete this frequency, what's going to end up happening is it's going to come and kind of accumulate. And as it accumulates in your field, if you're not going to use it, if you're not going to use it intentionally to manifest the things you do want in life, what will happen is it will be unintentionally utilized to bring to fruition your greatest fears. Because if you're so fixated on your fears, then there's a higher likelihood of you bringing those fears into fruition. Initiation. This is something that your soul is not going to wait for you to initiate this. It's going to initiate this process with or without your consent, with or without your prior approval. Okay. Boundaries in reverse. Again, it goes back to this sense of like the protection and the boundaries really have become some type of imprisonment for quite a few of us. We've allowed ourselves to become very, very, very limited in our ability to move and flow because, well, we have become afraid. And it's that very fear that keeps us in these patterns of coping, these patterns of really believing the most distorted things about ourselves. Winter in reverse. Wow. Things are definitely going to be heating up this winter. Things are going to be heating up this winter. They're going to become very intense for many of you. Whatever it is that heats up, you have a say in the way you experience it. But if you're not going to utilize the say, then just really a lot of things are going to be happening and you're going to feel like you're being dragged by your life, right? You're going to feel like you just are being bullied by life itself. I don't know that you're being bullied. It feels more like requests have been put out by your higher self, your soul, and those requests have been ignored. You can only ignore the requests of soul for so long before it then becomes something where you're forced into it, right? Where you're dragged. Foundation in reverse. The stability that you once had in years past, you might not have it very soon. Okay, you might have been noticing that that stability that you once had has been greatly diminishing, just diminishing so much. Like really, really feelings of instability, feelings of not knowing, feelings of fear, feelings that you know, you might not be enough, you might this, you might that. I don't know. I'm wondering if what you need to know now has nothing to do with what you thought you needed to know. I'm wondering if a lot of the things that you once thought was acceptable, you're about to realize, you're about to see firsthand is just not. That you've been selling yourself short for so long. And I think when you go through that cycle and you begin to realize just how much you've refused to receive, it's a very emotional thing. It's a very intense, very emotional thing when you come to a realization that whatever difficult circumstance didn't have to be as difficult as it was, and definitely did not have to be as difficult as it was for as long as it was. Oftentimes, the things we choose for ourselves is the very thing that perpetuates our misery. Oftentimes, we offer ourselves up for sacrifice and slaughter just to maintain a peace that never actually existed. When peace requires you to consistently be offered for sacrifice or slaughter, I don't know, and slaughter being the assumption that you're going to be divided to be consumed by as many people as possible. I don't know, that system needs to change. That program that you are actively participating in, either with full knowing, full cognition, or through passive permission. I mean, that has to change. What we say or do or not is what we manifest by default. Whatever you hyperfixate on, you know, and for most of us, we hyperfixate on the problems. We hyperfixate on the deficits that we are aware of, the deficits that maybe we're not so cognitive of, but we can definitely feel. We consistently hyperfixate on the negativities. In my environment, what I like to say is, we already know what the problem is. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Let's find a solution. Unless what you're going to say and what you're going to offer will propel us towards a feasible solution that we can implement, I don't want to hear it. You know, sometimes my husband will say, like, I'm so impatient. Well, honey, I don't want to talk about what's missing for the next 30 minutes. We know what's missing. Let's fucking look for it. Okay, it's not at the desk. Okay, well, stop fucking looking at the desk. Look somewhere else, you know? But I can't really talk too much shit because I have sensory integration problems. So I literally can't find things on my own. I can't. I'm serious. Like, half the time it could be right in front of me and I won't see it. It's not that I'm not paying attention, it's that it literally won't register. One time I was at the store and I was on the phone. Talking to someone and I was like, oh my God, I lost my phone. I'm not joking. Another time when all of my kids were like toddlers or newborns, I had the newborn in a baby wrap strapped to my chest, and I have carried a baby on my chest. I think it was like 9 years straight at that point already. Or 6 years, I don't know, something like that. It was a long ass time, so I was so accustomed to having a baby on my chest in a baby wrap, and, next thing you know, I took off running down the aisles because I thought someone took my baby. I can't see things, I can't sense things, um, when my sensory integration issues kick in. I can't find things. And maybe that's a good thing, though. Maybe that's a good thing because oftentimes when I get to that point where I'm so frustrated because I can't find what I'm looking for, and I know that it's because my brain is totally malfunctioning, right? Like literally malfunctioning. It's really helped me to condition myself to know how to more easily redirect myself. I can go 180 in a matter of seconds, just like that. I can go 180 simply because I've become so accustomed to being able to switch gears instantly. I mean, there's no point in me continuing to like try and look for a pen that I know I set it down in front of me, but I don't see it. Okay. So a lot of the things, the difficulties that you experience, the things that quite a few people, especially people who subscribe to concepts of modern science, things that they deem are pathology, disease, right? Malfunction. It could be something that leads to you being able to um, far excel beyond what the average person could do, simply because you've had to condition yourself to be able to overcompensate easily, right? So, um, how will you handle it all? Okay. Well, in my childhood, I was not diagnosed with ADHD, but good God, I have raging ass ADHD. I do. I have, I have raging ADHD, and it's become this thing of learning how to turn on my hyperfixation, right? When it matters, when it counts. Not only do I have ADHD, I have the type of ADHD that allows me to hyperfixate like a mofo, right? So that makes me extremely efficient. I have learning deficits. Would you know that? It's not because I'm hiding it. It's because I've learned to empower myself through other channels in order to compensate for the deficits. So I have dyslexia, right? And it is so common for me to flip numbers. So if you're going to give me like a phone number, 756-4321, I'm going to be like 765, 75. You know, it's going to be hard. But here's this thing that I learned to do when I was maybe first or second grade, way back when before my mind started to fog up. Um, and that's actually just more recent in the past 2 years or so. But up until recently, I've had a photographic memory. But again, the dyslexia will cause me to flip things as I memorize it. Well, I can memorize a Boolean of like 16 digits instantly. How? I'm not reading individual numbers. That's 756-4321, 7564-321. 7564-321, 7564-321, 7564-321. And that's how I use my abilities to overcompensate. There is no deficit within me, regardless of what I struggle with inside. There is no deficit within me, regardless of what I struggle through inside, because I will never allow myself, to fail myself with no repercussions. Anytime I fail at something, I'm learning a way to modify my existing operating system so that I can function more efficiently in whatever environment that I'm in. There are no limitations that will keep me confined. I will always find a way around it. Always. It doesn't matter what I have to learn, what I have to teach myself. I will always find a way around it. Had an issue a few years back, or a year back, 2 years back, I don't know, regarding tenant law in California, right? So what did I do? I learned the shit out of civil code, California civil code. And I got myself out of that situation in an appropriately legal manner. I will never allow myself to fail myself without consequence for my growth. Consequences could be good and bad. It's not just something negative, right? Consequence is another word for effects. Whatever causation you choose, there will always be an effect. Sometimes the causations lead to a lack of awareness, this awakening, but in reverse. It's this lack of awareness of where you actually are and what you need to learn. You get so caught up in these concepts of, oh, I failed. Oh, I've this, I've that. I've never once in my life had the luxury of being able to say that I failed. That's a luxury. Do you know that, right? Being able to enter into a failure mindset, being able to identify failure, that is a luxury. I don't know if it's because I'm Asian and I was raised traditionally. That is not an option. There is no limits as to the levels of success and perfection you can reach. Like I said, I don't know if it's because I was raised Asian. I don't know. Because in my culture, in my family, getting an A minus, no. That's getting an A. That's all you can do. Getting an A plus. Okay, well, took you this long, right? So some people will see that and hear that and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for you, Emmy. That was so mean. You had such a mean childhood. And I'm over here like, no, honey, that's why I can excel to the degree that I can. Because I will continue to push myself. I will continue to push myself to realize more and more and more and achieve more and more and more until I get to where I am destined to be. And where is that? I don't know. There's no end destination. At least that's what I'm coming to terms with. There's no end destination. As I achieve and reach my achievement, my proposed achievement, my goal, in the process of me reaching that goal, I will begin to develop new goals and begin the prep work for new achievements. And that's the cycle. It will continue on and on and on. As you reach to achieve, to realize a dream of yours, you are developing new dreams that take you to new heights, that take you into even deeper depths within yourself and your understanding of your capacity and capabilities. It will never end. As long as you're not in compliance with what your soul is trying to get you to achieve, this entire process will feel like punishment. It will feel like punishment. I've been there. I've felt that. Just because I have an awareness of the processes that I live through does not mean I'm totally just like, yeah, no, it's all good. No, half the time it doesn't feel all good. But it's in those times where it doesn't feel all good that I'm realizing even more about the gravity of what I'm experiencing. Right? It's important for us to be able to recognize the opposing polarity of the emotions that we experience versus the emotions we're telling ourselves is acceptable to experience. It gives us a better understanding of how we define ourselves. it gives us a very, very good understanding. So, message. These are messages from soul. You're being asked repeatedly to prepare yourself to rise, to allow yourself to receive, to prepare yourself for the process of living the dreams that you've dreamt your entire life. And as you live those dreams that you've dreamt up until this point, you will have new dreams for the next cycle of growth, the next chapter of achievement. And sometimes the process of achieving and succeeding is a very chaotic one. Birth is messy. You can't control the way a woman births her child. You just can't. A lot of what happens in hospitals is a lot of medical, in my opinion, medical interference, right? Because really, I've had enough people that I personally know who have had all of these really traumatic birth stories when you're looking at it from a medical perspective. But in reality, it wasn't as traumatic as medical science would try and say it is. What's more traumatic is someone really, really, really trying to force you to rush a process that cannot be rushed. I've had multiple births where I was threatened with the use of Pitocin. How about fuck you? No. And they used to do this very manipulative thing where it's like, and now I'm thinking about um epidurals. They used to do this very manipulative thing where they would wait until my husband would leave the room because I didn't want an epidural. I would say no to the epidural, and they would wait until he leaves the room, and then they would whisper like, "It's okay, mama, he's gone." Who are you talking to? Who are you talking about? They're like, "He's not here. Do you want an epidural? We can do it really quick before he arrives." My husband don't give a shit if I have an epidural or not. That was a choice I made. Like, you don't have to punish yourself. Y'all fucked up my back. It's never been the same since. What are you talking about punishing? I'm saving myself. Like, no. Went through that last night. I found myself only allowing myself to feel disappointed, and I had to step back and realize I needed space for more. I was sad, I was mad, and had to allow it. I love this, Aileen. I hope you're feeling better today. I hope you're feeling better today. And it's a huge, huge service to self and self healing, to allow yourself to experience the full gambit of motion and emotion within your life, right? The full spectrum of whatever it is you're needing to experience. You don't have to limit yourself and be a singular facet of who you actually are, which is a multi-dimensional dynamic flow of energy. It's crazy to me when people can't understand that you can feel more than one emotion at one time. You have the capacity to. That's how you were designed to exist. And that's a huge achievement. Huge achievement, Aileen. I'm so glad. Thank you for sharing that with us. Listening in reverse. So this is telling me that we're not listening to what soul is saying. Denial. That we hear what soul is saying, but we're refusing to listen because if we listen, then we give up our ability to deny that we are aware, to deny that we have sovereign power and authority over ourselves, like lust. So there are some who are okay. Michael, stop. Michael is just saying stuff. It's just stop. Obedience. Lack of obedience to the will of soul, because the lust factor in there, I guess, I don't know, someone is feeling some aspects of lust as they go through the process that they're in. And so it's causing them to kind of try and steer clear of whatever it is that they're needing to do. High Priestess of Spirit in reverse. So this is someone that just really is, I don't know, it goes back to the sense of denying the message. I am absolutely tickled pink. I am. Confidence in reverse. Someone's feeling very not confident, you know what I mean? Like very, very not confident about whatever it is that they're going through. They're debating something, they're debating a decision. I think this is a person who's debating a decision that involves you. Ooh. So someone is debating a decision that involves you. They're not very sure, they're not very confident in terms of how they should proceed. So now they're like, they're wondering if this is just like really based on lust and whatnot. And it's, I don't know. I don't know. Michael says, do you really not know? I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Celestial teacher in reverse. So it's this refusal to see where you're being taught, how you're being taught, and what you are being taught by your soul. Compassion in reverse. You're accustomed, whoever this is about, I don't know if it's you or some cross watcher. This is a person who is very accustomed to learning things rapidamente. They're all bent out of shape. Whoever this is bent the F out of shape because I don't know. Because they haven't been getting their way. They don't know how to approach this. They don't know what to do. And I don't know. They're frustrated. Emotions are being flung everywhere, right? So this is a person who's becoming very, very emotional. I I've waited 100 years. I don't have time. I gotta start my stuff. This is a person who's like super duper emotional over you. How will you handle it all? Walk your truth in reverse. This is someone who is tiptoeing. Is it you? Are you tiptoeing through this subject matter? Because now you're like, oh my God, I know who she's talking about. And I don't know how to handle it. I don't know this. I don't know that. And so now you're tiptoeing. Just breathe. Just breathe. Tiptoes are still movement. Walking on your tippy toes is still you being able to flow. You're not stagnant. So shift your focus to that. Secondly, so here's the thing. My career path before this, I was doing photography, and I was basically assisting new models in creating their portfolios to approach agencies, modeling agencies. And oftentimes I would be speaking to agents, and they would book me to help newly signed models begin to understand how to move their body and how to walk and all of that stuff, yada, yada. So here's the thing. If you want to walk in extremely high heels, like the highest heels I walked in, I want to say it was either 16 or 21 inches. You're like on your tippy toes. And let me tell you, I could sashay in that. Well, before, not anymore. But the trick is to walk on your big toes, your 2 toes, the inside. That's the trick. So you're over here like trying to tiptoe through things. Make it look good, boo. Make it look good. Make it look good. Okay. Walk on the inside 2 toes, the big toe and the second toe. Use that for balance. The second toe is for balance. No other toe should touch. No other toe should touch. And so you're not actually even allowing the heel to touch the floor. That's full tippy toe. It looks so good if you do it right. It looks so good. Oh my gosh. The sway in the hips looks so good. I'm just saying, if you're going to be tiptoeing around this, you might as well look good doing it. you might as well look good doing it. Oh my God, I'm running out of time. Be fearless. What that means is continue to move and flow even in the presence of fear. That means you have courage. Limitless and in reverse. It's time to stop participating in this limited mindset that you've been having because it's blocking your new chapter from being written. Okay. Flow in reverse. So there it is. You're not allowing yourself to flow. You are blocking so much, or whoever this part is about, blocking so much. I'm being told to ask what needs to happen to gain your compliance. Well, first you can back the F up, Michaela. First and foremost, that's what you could do. Feel you breathing on me. All right. Galactic assistance in reverse. So no, this is strictly human based. You're going to have to figure out the solution. And you can't use galactic, celestial, esoteric, spiritual concepts. What? You can't use those things to make excuses for yourself. So Michael brings up this concept about the self, right? And how I think this whole concept of like, I am you, you are me, like, no, you're here to learn something about yourself, not necessarily about trying to reunify in some weird human sense and become what are you going to be? The human caterpillar? Like, what are you going to be? I am you, you are me. Like, what is that? Really though, what is that? What is that? You're trying to apply extremely high level spiritual concepts to a very, very human densified life. The two don't mix. They're two completely different things. They are two completely different things. You're either going to live in a spiritual way and completely spiritual where you've lost your identity, or you're going to be human and have your identity. You can't have both. And it's very, very human to think that you can have both, have it all, have your cake and eat it too, right? This concept of like, oh, so advanced because, oh gosh, one of the most annoying things that I've ever come across. I happened to see in one of my Facebook memories from today, this thing of like the concept of the self. And then it had me remembering something else from years back, where someone was like, years back before I ever started live streaming, someone was like trying to lecture me about how like all is the self. God. You know what the self is? The human aspect of you. It's not anything beyond the human aspect. All is the human aspect of you. Like, how narcissistic. How limited in scope of vision and concept. All is the self. Like the self is the human. You see the self and the soul. See, the human wants to make everything about the self, the singular identity that exists in this lifetime. Like that's asinine to me. That's asinine because it's the people who really peddle those things like hardcore. I'm not talking about people who've come across that concept and are like intrigued by it momentarily, right? I'm talking about the people who are trying to force other people, because I've come across quite a few who use that concept to try and dominate other people. The self is a human fragment of an immortal essence. Like all is a self. That's, oh, I'm out of time. I gotta go. I gotta go. Here, natural endings. It's not going to end. It's going to keep going because these are cycles that you're in. Royal return. I don't know. Maybe for some of you, one of you, I don't know who, one of you wants someone to come back. Go find them, message them, send them emojis. I think we had decided like a cart. No, Elijah said a cartwheel emoji. I said use the one with the walking stick. Use that emoji. I forgot what other people said. Use an emoji, make it funny. Don't privately message them. Comment it on their posts and see if they respond. And if they don't, if they ignore you or if they block you, leave them alone forever. Right? Leave them alone forever. I think that cycle needs to just be cycled out already so a new cycle can come forward. Redirection, Sejal. Allowing yourself to change directions. It's okay for you to change your mind. You don't have to stay committed to things that cause you suffering, that cause you pain, that cause you to wonder so much about yourself. Metamorphosis. Allowing that growth and that change. New dimensions in reverse. This process is about understanding to a deeper degree the things that you're experiencing as a human being. So, no, you're not going to be going to a higher level of dimensional consciousness. You're going to be able to better understand the level that you're currently existing in. Self sabotage. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't allow yourself to affect your journey in a negative way just because someone upsets you. See, it's a trap. It's a trap. The trap in reverse, they put it upside down so that way you won't realize what you're walking into. A trap is a trap is a trap. Okay? A trap is a trap is a trap. Don't fall for it. So I got to get going. If you're part of the Endaran fire correction ceremony, a private fire ceremony that I'm going to be having in a few minutes, go head on over there. I'll see you at 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I got to take a moment to make sure my audio and stuff are working well. If you'd like to join me next Saturday, I'm going to have my final Endaran fire ceremony correction. You can find that on the website. Also, thank you for this, Lindsay. We're going to be we're winding down our Florida Indian River Groves fundraiser for Soulwork Synergistics. If you are interested in supporting our mission, if you are interested in supporting our community programs, because that's where this money is going to go towards, Soulwork Synergistic Community Programs, please head on over to floridaindianrivergroves.com/e-commerce 1029533. That's our number. And also thank you for this, Lindsay. If you'd like to join next Saturday's Endaran Fire Correction Ceremony, go to that link right there. This Endaran Fire Correction Ceremony, it is me doing the corrective work for the energies that have been attempted to pressure inject into my field to really, really affect my psychology, my emotions. It has a lot to do with the stalker and the criminal behaviors of this stalker aimed towards me, and my desire and absolute need to stop all the bullshit already, to stop all the threats and all of that. So for this Andaran fire correction ceremony. It's a private ceremony, will not be on my YouTube or Facebook channel. And the funds will go towards any additional legal fees that I will incur as I take legal action in Switzerland. Okay. And if you're not aware, it's costly. It's costly, but it's necessary because I'm done hiding. I am done being physically separated from my community, having to forego events where I can meet you and spend time with you, being forced to forego further retreats that I could have with people who are ready to reach higher levels of understanding of themselves and their journey. I'm tired of not being able to properly support my board members and my team by being able to promote where we are so you can come and enjoy our freshly baked artesian breads. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the threat on my life, my children's life, my husband's life. I'm sick of it. And I'm finally going to do something about it. 2.5 years, 1,400 emails alone. That does not include all of the screenshots I've taken over these years from social media messages, new accounts being made to continue to harass me through all social media platforms. No more. Even if you can't join me for the Andaran fire ceremony, even if you cannot donate, I hope that what I'm going through so publicly inspires you to put your foot down for your life as well. We, the empaths of the world, we deserve better. And we have to stop waiting for people to agree with us. We have to start commanding our energy, our space, and taking the appropriate actions that are necessary to cultivate the type of dignity and respect we deserve to live with. Okay? So even if you can't partake in assisting me, I hope that in witnessing this entire process, you feel empowered to do something about what you're going through. I know I'm not the only one that goes through this kind of thing. I know I'm not the only one. I also don't want to be the only one that finally corrects it, finally puts a halt to it. Okay. Empower yourself. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. I'm not sure if I'm going to do expedites later today, but give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe, turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. I'll see you guys again very soon. Bye, everyone.